Well, from playing horseshoes with President Bush to decorating the Reagan White House, the palling around with the first kids, the White House staff has done and seen it all, and now all their stories are wrapped up in the new tell-all, The Residence, Inside the Private World of the White House. Joining us now is the author of The Residence, Kate Anderson Brower. This is really, what a gem of a book.
Thank you.
Have such insight and real stories coming from the White House. Wouldn't everyone want to know what goes on there? I want to start with one of the stories in here that you discuss, and it has to do with the Clintons. And it's you talk about Hillary Clinton and a real vulnerable moment that she had while she was actually getting ready before doing some press, right, doing her makeup.
Yeah, the Clintons are just like everybody else, and that's an interesting part of this book. She was, there was one of the staffers told me that the Clintons were the most paranoid people they ever worked for at the White House. There's a great story about Hillary Clinton just seeking some time alone by the pool, which I love, which makes her seem like just a human being. This is in 1998, just before the president admitted his affair with Monica Lewinsky.
Well, and there's another story that came in there because we saw that he had a little cut on him right afterward,
right.
And the story goes as what?
Well, one of the staffers was called up to their bedroom, and there was blood on the bed, and everyone on the staff sort of rumored that this was because she hit him, clocked him with a book. And an interesting thing is a lot of these staffers, especially the women, thought, this is great, like he deserves it. She had him sleeping on the sofa in the sitting room adjoining the bedroom, and they were really rooting for her at this time.
Sure. Interesting, too. There's another story in there, which I'm going to just tease everybody about the telephone system and how they actually wanted to keep that more private. Interesting in light of what's going on now. I want to move on to the Bush family. President H.W. Bush and Barbara Bush, their first lady. What do you know there?
They were the most beloved of all of the presidents they served. President Bush would have weekly horseshoe games with resident staffers. One of these staffers he grew so close to that he invited him for dinner in the private family dining room on the second floor. Barbara Bush would go down to the flower shop wearing her bathing suit and a robe before her morning swim just to check out and see how they were doing. They really treated the staff like they were their grandparents, everyone said. So, Republican, Democrat, across the board, the Bushes knew how to deal with the staff. They had, had help for basically their whole lives, whereas the Clintons and the Obamas had a little bit more trouble being waited on hand and foot, and also just having people constantly around them.
You tell a story about President Nixon bowling with someone from the staff as well, right?
I love that story. It makes him seem very human also. One night after dinner, he wandered into the kitchen and he asked one of the kitchen workers if he wanted to bowl, and they bowled until 2 o'clock in the morning. And the kitchen worker said, "My wife is never going to believe this." And so the president walked into the Oval Office and wrote a note to this kitchen worker's wife saying, "We were out until 2 in the morning. He was bowling with me." Another staffer said there was probably a bottle of scotch involved too.
Why not? Another story you talk about, and it has to do with President Obama, actually when he came in telling the staff and the butlers that they could wear jeans on the weekends, and they said
no. Yeah, they like to wear their formal wear. In fact, Lady Bird Johnson had told the staff they didn't have to wait because President Johnson was notoriously, would eat dinner at 10 or 11 at night. She said, "Don't wait, let him warm up his own food." And they would say, "No, we don't care what he's eating. We are serving him." There's a lot of pride in station here. That's what one staffer told me. They're very proud, and they don't mind being called domestics because to them, they serve the most important family in the country, and they're really fiercely loyal to the first families.
Well, the book is called The Residence, Inside the Private World of the White House, and the author, Kate Anderson Brower, joins me right now. What an intimate, exceptional look inside the White House. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Book's out today.